Explain OOP principle with real example.
Okay, so in Java, OP stands for object oriented programming. So object oriented programming means all the things are which is written in Java are surrounded with objects, like methods are there, classes, and variables are all the binded with the objects. So basically there are four pillars in Java, OP pillars in Java. One is inheritance, second is abstraction, third is a polymorphism, and fourth is encapsulation. So inheritance means to achieving the child class property in the parent class property into the child class. So like if you take the example of class A and class B. So when in a class A there is a method called print method, and we also created a class B with extending that class, and created again a method, class B method. So class B can access class A method as well as, and the class B method its own method as well as. So if you take the real example of in inheritance, so we can take the example of parent child relationship in our humans. So in humans, like if parent have some issues like health related issue or something, that is going to be inherited into its childs as well as. So if you take the DNA, so DNA also going to match in your child. So that is the inheritance property in real life. So the next OP principle is uh, uh, polymorphism. Polymorphism means so ability to take many forms. So ability to take many forms in the coding example. If you take the example of, if there is a method sum which will take two parameter and perform the action, at the same name there is another method which will take three parameter, that is going to perform three numbers addition. Again also that is so with the same name there is another method which is going to take four input, and that input going to be performed as addition and return the result. So that is the coding example totally. So if you take the real life example, if you take the example of a woman, so he can be a wife of someone, a child of someone, a daughter of someone, a mother of someone, or if he is working, so he is employee of someone. So that is the many form that he is taking, depends upon the situation. So that is the polymorphism. So next will be the encapsulation. Encapsulation means binding the data into single entity. So if you take the example of in Java, so if there is a class which having private variable, all the variables are private, but there is a methods which is getter and setter. So that methods will help you to get the data of that variable and set the data into that variable. So that is Java coding example of encapsulation. So if you take the real example of encapsulation, if you take the school bag example, so school bag contains like your pen, pencil, rubber, all notebooks into a single entity, which is bag. So that is the real life example of encapsulation. Remaining is abstraction. Abstraction is a property where you only show the essential details to the user, and the which is non-essential details which is hide from the from the user, which is don't need to understand the user. So if you take the example of Java, in that if you create a interface and which is having a multiple method, and which is abstracts method basically, and there will be a another class which is implementing that interface and writing the all necessary logic for that method. So if a user wants to access this functionality, so he only wants to call that interface method which is declared in the interface. If on he wants to call another functionality, he can call again the second method, but he don't know the actually the what is background logic is written in the classes. He can access only the interfaces. which is necessary to access that functionality. So that is the Java example. So if you take the real life example, we can take the car example. In that, if you want to drive a car, so in that case you don't need to know how engine exactly work, how his like fuel get into it, and how his combustion works. So that is the thing you don't want to know. You want to know, like, only thing is that how to accelerate. In that case, bike or car will go ahead. If you press the brake, bike will stop or car will stop. And that is the two functionality you only know, so to drive a car. So that is the real example. Yeah.
Okay.